There are ellipses that you can coddle, and there are ellipses that must be thrust unpleasantly into independence. We don't know which way our head scratchers point when we are warm. And so we furtively reassess the Cinemascope to avoid detection by the malignant excuse me, the malignant descendants of Cain. And when we watch the reprehensible remnants of our mizzenmast crumble before the objections of the illiterate digiterati, what we're going to have to say is a kind of collective reflection on remonstrance. And the brows and the proboscis from which this kind of curdled ingenuity behibits, there is a frankness to our disconsolation. And in these moments, we are truly turniped. I've been searching for a long time for the right way to shimmy down an ankle beam. And in the preponderance of small, upper management, highly ambitioned, Nantucket residents, there's a momentum to the catastrophes that cottage cheese can portray. So, while it's somewhat ennobling to be self-determinant while you whittle, what we have to say about our progenitors is that in their heft, they were burdensome. And in their delinquencies, we find the only true inheritance. That which went before had a momentum and it had a direction, but we are not necessarily always bequeathed that directionality. We are always bequeathed the wake, the rippling outward and diagonally diametric. And these things, these promulgating, proliferating disturbances, become the bequeathment. They become a kind of dowry to which we are bridesmaided to the future. And it is a future of recombinant delinquencies. It's a future of a kind of oppressive yen for crockpots. And in the fields of disarray, where people can say, I like confetti more than coconuts, you have a kind of hand-activated blender, and the things that it blends You don't have to blend things that intermingle freely. You don't have to blend, for example, miasma and contempt. But you do have to blend things that resist each other. And if you say, I was henpecked by guardsmen, and you are companioned by a person who likes whiskey on their epaulets, you're going to need blending. You're going to need rapidly spinning blades to dice you into, or perhaps even liquefy you, so that the two of you can not just see each other or know each other, but in a sense become not each other, but a third thing, a thing that is the sum of you. Or not the sum, the in other words, every active surface that could cause a reaction between you and the other, every possible active surface must interact for there to be a true fulmination. And if there's anything withheld, and this is where the blender is necessary, if there's anything withheld, it's a chunk. It's a little chunk of sore afterthought in the walking stick of charismatic fields pethy. So what do we owe the turnstiles when we're drunk? That's the question. That's the true protuberance of laparoscopy. And you say to the surgeon, where do you point your blade? But you don't say to the caddy, how often do you find yourself thirsty for cinnamon and milk? Not commonly, at least. So, to take responsibility for the chrome of all of the guided visualizations that were put in our wallet along with our cheese and our dangling insensitivities. It's like a thrush with a bean bucket. And to put those kind of oligarchies into effect when all you really have is tortillas with friends, you're going to say, there's not enough here to fillet. And without a sufficient fillet-sized quantity, the parts of ourselves that can't inhabit a shoe rack can never find true tongue-shaped contentment. And that is the task for each of us. That is the task that can both be seen as a button that fastens the final nook in a shirt made of crepe paper. But if we're true to ourselves, if we listen to the clarion call of halcyon affections, what we're going to find is something pricier than your grandmother's apple. Thank you for listening. Comments welcome.